If you want to be a high-value data analyst, you need to avoid using subqueries. Here we see a small block of code, and when we inspect it, we see that it has a subquery here. But when we inspect that subquery, we see yet another subquery. Now, this is only nested a few levels deep, and I've seen a lot worse in my career, but if we run this, it works just fine. But just because the code works does not mean it's the right thing to do, and you definitely do not want to be doing this inside of your code. Why? Well, first, the code is a lot harder to read this way, and that's going to make you more likely to commit bugs. Second, it's a lot harder to QA your code. And third, you're going to waste a lot of time during the process. What you want to do is break this code down into smaller chunks, making it easier to read, and it can help you become more performant, but more on that second part later. We can take this first nested query here, and we can pull it into a CTE. Then we can reference that CTE in our original query. Yes, in this situation, we still have a subquery to deal with, but there's a lot less clutter. And that's because this is basically a select star with no logic in it. Now we can take this other subquery and we can pull that into a CTE as well. Again, we'll reference it in the main query, and this time we can treat it like any other table, thus eliminating the subquery. If we run this, it works as expected, and our code is a lot easier to read. So if you want to become an expert data analyst or simply just be able to pass your interview, you need to do more than just being able to write basic code that runs. You need to understand the best practices and how to use those best practices in your code. I have roughly 9 hours of on-demand SQL video training and a whole lot more in my Become a Data Analyst course package. That entire 8-course package is only $100 for lifetime access, and it's a heck of a value compared to competitors that are only covering about 30 minutes of SQL training and cost about 2.5 to 3 times as much.